Do you want to learn how I make my 100 days in hardcore Minecraft videos? Do you want to learn how to make them yourself, or are you just really curious on what actually goes on behind the scenes? In this video, I will be showing you the entire process of what it takes for me to create my 100 days in hardcore Minecraft videos. Alright, so if you have clicked on this video, you are very curious to know what actually goes into creating my 100 days in hardcore Minecraft videos. We are here on a copy of my world, and we are going to explore the world as it is today. So at the moment we have survived 400 days, just a little spoiler alert. This is a copy. You may see some spoilers for my 400 days as we explore the world. For those that don't know, I actually use some vanilla tweaks texture packs, so you might see a bit of different textures and stuff as we walk around this world. So the whole process starts before even starting the record button. So I need to plan obviously what I'm going to do in the videos. So 400 days videos, I knew I wanted, and this is a spoiler for those that don't want any spoilers, click off now. But I knew I wanted to get a load of farms built in this 400 days video, so I wanted to, you know, plan everything in advance. I wanted to get some projects, you know, that I was gonna write down on a pen and paper. I wanted to know exactly what farms I wanted to build and when, and exactly the goals of the video that I wanted to achieve before the end of the 400 days. So without a goal, it's basically not even going to tell a story. We're just going to wander around while I talk to you guys. So it's not really going to tell a story as such. So yeah, I need some kind of plan. You know, if I'm ever going to do any battles along the way, you know, to make things intense and to throw a few battles in there and make it feel like a roller coaster. Oh, my game has... Oh, I'm back. That was bizarre. So yeah, I want to decide what I want to do before I go in and do it. So like every single time I've done a 100 days video, I've had a concrete plan of what I'm going to do beforehand. So that is what goes on before I even start recording the video. Now getting onto the recording part, which is actually, believe it or not, the easiest part of it all. So what I do is obviously once I've got the plan, I will record the full 100 days, you know, without doing anything in between. So like obviously I'll have breaks in between and stuff. I won't just play the full 100 days you know, straight back to back in one day. It doesn't work like that. You know, there's a lot of time that goes into recording the videos, but it is pretty straightforward once you have that concrete plan. So the way I do it and the way I keep track of days is people always ask me, you know, like, is the actual title of the day that I'm on even accurate? Yes, it is, because every time, so typically what goes on is I will start recording the video. Let's say I'm starting right now. I will hold the F3 screen. This isn't accurate. As I said, this is a copy, so there is a few things missing. It says day 399 right there. So what I'll do is at the start and at the end of the recording, so I'll hold this screen, I'll click my record button. So obviously the F3 screen's up at the start. Then when I go to end a recording session, I will do the same again. Let's say I've just finished recording 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. I will stand here, I will hold this for 5 seconds, I'll stop the recording, and then I know that footage goes from that day to that day. And then obviously once I've finished recording, I'll rename that file day 401 to 407 or something like that. But of course, no plan is ever going to be concrete. So like, you know, halfway through, I could be on like day 50 or something, and I might be like, oh, I really, really want to do something else. I don't want to do this yet. I want to put it on hold, and I want to do something else. Then things can change. I'll deviate slightly sometimes, but more often than not, the plan relatively stays the same. A lot of people tend to question my time lapses and how I record them. So time lapses are pretty straightforward as well. It just requires you to have replay mod. I personally use Optifine alongside replay mod, so I need OptiFabric for that to work. So when I click this button here, the escape button, I've got options down here, start recording and resume recording. For me to start a time lapse, I simply just start it, and then when I'm done building what I'm building, for example this raid farm right here, I will simply click stop recording. Then I'll exit the game and let that finalize, and then I've got a replay to play around with. I can jump into the replay mod, do some camera work in there, and then basically just export it with shaders. And a question I get asked a lot is, what shaders do I use? I use ones called complementary shaders, and I will leave them in the description of this video for you guys to download. This video isn't going to teach you how to install replay mod. There's plenty of tutorials out there for that. But yeah, if you guys want me to make a tutorial on how I use replay mod as a whole, then let me know in the comments. So that's pretty much the entire recording process as a whole. Now we're moving on to the scripting and commentary. So to some of you it might be quite obvious, but to some it isn't. I actually script my commentary like full out scripting. And why do I keep getting these lag spikes? It might be because I'm using vanilla tweaks on 1.16. Custom ores texture pack, by the way, I'm actually on 1.16. I haven't updated to 1.17 for those that are wondering. So yeah, as I said, my videos are indeed scripted, and I know some viewers won't appreciate this, but some will and understand why it's done. You have to understand though, like sometimes a script is completely necessary and okay if you're trying to tell a story. And this series is trying to tell a story. It's trying to tell a story of how I survived 100 days, and I do it in past tense for that reason. However, I am going to change that, just to make these videos a little easier to make. Well, a lot easier to make, and there won't be much of a delay. I'm going to change the series after 400 days into present tense rather than past tense, meaning I will play and commentate at the same time, just like I'm doing now, you know? Yep, breaking grass, there you go. So that will save me a ton of time in terms of scripting, in terms of choosing the bits I want and everything else, because doing it past tense, I'm having to choose everything. I'm having to go through all the footage afterwards, having no clue which bits I want to use and which bits I don't, which I'll be honest takes up the majority of the time making these videos. They take forever to make. If I was to just record and wing the commentary without having to, you know, go off a script or anything, it wouldn't tell the story as good. And yeah, I mean, I'd probably forget a lot of crucial bits of information I need to tell in the story. Like I said, scripting the video is without a doubt one of the lengthiest parts, but it is necessary for me to tell that story in the way I do. I mean, some of you may appreciate that, some of you might not. Also, another thing, part of the reason why these videos take like so long to make is, bearing in mind I have to go through 20 to 33 hours of footage on average to try and get the bits I need. And yeah, I mean, if anyone has ever edited a video before, or any editors out there that are watching this can, you know, relate to what I'm about to say, you know it's a lot easier doing it when you have visual audio peaks to go off, which is why doing it present tense rather than past tense, I keep freezing, sorry, is going to be a lot easier, and I'll be able to push the videos out a lot quicker without losing too much of the quality. But yeah, that's the scripting process. I will put a screenshot on screen of the template I use in Word. I made this myself. I basically do day by day, or sometimes I'll do a block of days depending on if it's a scene or something. But yeah, that's literally how I do it. So the editing segment, you guys might be interested in this bit. So without a doubt, it's one of the lengthiest processes of them all. The recording takes a lot of time, but it's very easy, whereas the editing takes a lot of like brain power, decision making and everything else. And a lot of YouTubers that are out there that do 100 days videos themselves know the grind it takes to produce those videos, especially if you're doing it the way I do it, in past tense. It takes forever. So even though it's a lengthy process, the concept is pretty simple. I basically cut up all the bits I need up, add all the day titles on, and then I go through the part of, once I've scripted and recorded the commentary, it's then a case of just piecing it together to match what is on screen. Now, of course, because of the length of the footage, it takes forever, but yeah, I'm teasing my slime farm here, by the way. So always the first thing I do is piece together the intro. I want that to be as catchy as I possibly can to keep the, you know, the viewers watching and to keep them engaged. That's the whole point of an intro. You guys want to be able to go, oh, this looks interesting, and then watch the rest of the video, because, you know, it makes for a good video in my opinion. So then basically it's just a case of piecing all the main content together, adding some music to suit the scene. So for example, the Woodland Mansion, I added some intense music because it is more or less like a fighting scene if you think of it like a movie. And yeah, it's basically just generic stuff like that, adding all the music together and stuff. For those that ask, I use Vegas Pro 18 to piece all my videos together, just for those that are wondering. So a lot of people ask as well where I get my music from. So I use Epidemic Sound. There's a reason why I don't link a lot of them in the description. The reason is because those songs are actually copyrighted unless you have a license to use them, which I do. So I pay for Epidemic Sound, so a lot of my songs are licensed, and some of them are just generic non-copyrighted music. But yeah, that's why you see a lot of the songs that I use aren't actually linked in the description of the videos, because if I link a description in the video and it's uncopyrighted and people think it's not, then sorry, if it's copyrighted and then people think it's not copyrighted and they get a copyright strike, then I mean, it's partly their fault, but then it'll be mine as well. So yeah, that's pretty much my process and how I record my videos. So if you guys found this somewhat informative, let me know in the comments, because I'll try and answer your questions as best as I can, because I might have just skimmed through a lot of it. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the most common questions I do get asked, so I figured I'd make a video about it for you. And yeah, you can go ahead and make your own yourself. It's not that hard, it's just quite a grind. It's quite a grind. Let's just say that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.